Sup all, born in Asphodel Meadow here, and this will be my second video addressed to the YouTube user named Islamcollection. He was kind enough to do me the service of watching the videos that I recommended he watch, not the videos that I made on my opinions on intelligent design, because I think that the arguments he was presenting with I've already refuted them. And then he watched them, I assume. He responded to one of them. So he did me that service, so and I said I'd respond to him in video, so here I am. It's a bit late because I'm a little under the weather. I'm kind of feeling sick, so I'm going to try to edit out my coughing fits from this video. But, okay, yeah, so his video, the one he responded to me with, is what appears to be a press conference or something addressing a Muslim figure of some importance, and at which point the person is asked, does the Quran suggest that evolution has happened by a Muslim? And the man in the video says, no, there isn't evidence for evolution in the Quran. We believe in special creation, that God created everything how it is today, etc., etc. And he specifically mentions that evolution, he says it like this: evolution, which explains how life came from inanimate matter, from non-life, and that is not evolution at all. That's the theory of abiogenesis, which is completely different. And, just as valid as evolution, in my opinion, because they actually have proven scientifically that abiogenesis is possible. Whether or not it happened remains to be seen, because we can't go back in time. Another thing he says is that evolution, which is just a theory. You're right. The theory of evolution by process of natural selection is a theory, but I think he was a little unclear on what that is. Evolution, as a theory, is just how evolution happened. Some people think evolution by natural selection is valid. I among them. I think natural selection makes sense for the case. But some people think evolution happened in a different way. But those are the only contradictions in that theory. How evolution happened. The fact that evolution has happened is fact. It's uncontradicted by anyone with any kind of knowledge of science. Except for, the religious creationists and whatnot. They're the only people to contradict it, not with evidence, but with doctrine. And he also says that Darwinism is incorrect. The early forms of Darwinism that Darwin himself proposed has now been refuted and is no longer widely believed. And he says this like it's a coup for religion. Like, Darwinism, the early Darwinism, is no longer true. They've come up with all sorts of crazy other theories now, other stories to explain how stuff works. And we win. Now, a common misconception here is that evolution and atheism are linked in some way. The only way evolution would be linked to atheism would be as a cause. Because you look at, a religious person would look at evolution and go, hey, my God doesn't say this happened, but this makes sense, and then becomes an atheist. In concept, they are nothing alike. Atheism is just the belief that there is no God. Evolution is a scientific theory, and something that can be disproven. You can't disprove atheism, no more than you can prove a religion. And I think it's just so funny that so many religious people who try to refute atheism, which is impossible, go off on all these scientific notions like, oh, atheism is wrong because evolution isn't proven, or atheism is wrong because the Big Bang is all, hocus pocus. But it's so funny because they're scientific theories. It is the nature of science to try and disprove itself. Every theory that is presented is naturally put under so much more scrutiny than religion ever could be put under without it collapsing, okay? And if it survives all the rigorous scrutiny that it's put under, the theory is put forward, like the theory of evolution. And let's just say, as has happened in the past, like with Darwinism, a scientific theory is proven incorrect because another theory takes its place, something that's better. If this is what you're looking for, religious people of YouTube, if what you're looking for is to disprove evolution and the Big Bang, don't you realize it's just going to make your lives a lot harder to do what you're going to do? If anything eventually comes along and disproves evolution or the Big Bang, and we no longer look at them at all, we're just like, oh God, how did we ever think of things that are so stupid? Now we believe in X, okay? X is going to be an even tougher theory to disprove. It's completely, like, I can't believe no one has thought of this from a religious perspective before. If you disprove a theory, it's going to come up with another. We're not just going to say like, well, I guess evolution by process of natural selection didn't happen. I guess God did it. There's no link between them. No matter how many times you disprove a scientific theory to explain something, it's not going to get any closer to being God. or creation, or whatever the hell you choose to call it, okay? Oh, he also says in the video, evolution and stuff like that is to try to explain the unexplainable. And then he says that we Muslims believe that God did it, okay? So, just looking at the way his statement is phrased, okay? Evolution is a way of explaining the unexplainable. And Islam is not. It seems, that's what I was getting, okay? Evolution is just trying to explain the unexplainable, but for Islam, it's already explained, therefore it's not unexplainable. Even the statement itself is incorrect, but even looking at the substance of what he was trying to say, and by that I mean evolution is just a theory, whereas we believe that God did it, and if that holds any continuity whatsoever. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. This is an ordinary plastic pen, okay? No one disagrees with that? Okay? Ordinary plastic pen, okay? The pen is now on the ground. Now we're going to look at what happened from two perspectives. First, the scientific perspective. Perhaps the pen was attracted to the ground by a force like some kind of gravitational force, something that draws masses together, like perhaps the pen was attracted to the central mass of the planet. Thus, when I let it go and was no longer holding it up, the pen fell towards the ground and then landed in the position it was in. Maybe by chance. But the fact that it was attracted down was not chance. I mean, it's just a theory, we can't prove it, but, it makes sense, right? And now the second perspective, the religious perspective. God put it on the ground. God did it? Yes, God did it. Are you sure? Yes, I am sure. Well, how are you sure? What do you mean, how am I sure? It says so. Like, can you prove this, or... Of course I can prove it, it says so. Where does it say so? In my religious text. And does that make it a fact? Yes, that makes it fact. It was up in the air, and then it was on the ground. And then, look at it. Look at the position it's in. You're saying it became that way by chance? Yeah, it didn't have to land in that position. It could have landed at any position. Like, all that the theory that I presented puts forward is that it would fall towards the ground and land. It never said why it would land in that specific way. But that's only a theory, it's not correct. Yeah, it's only a theory, but it's based on good evidence and logic. Okay, let's just say it was just a theory that we had just come up with randomly. We just pulled it out of our asses, okay? How would it be any different from what you've said? All you've done is pull something out of your ass that you don't even call it a theory. A theory is subject to scrutiny. You just call it a fact, even though it's unprovable. Yeah, but the difference is, I'm right. Christ. I'm out of here. Now, I could see how some would say that that's not exactly how the theory of evolution works, but if you think about it, that's the way every argument between a religious person and one who believes in what science has shown us goes. And there's no variety whatsoever. That's the format it always takes. So, in other words, yes, science tries to explain what could otherwise not be explained, but religion is no different aside from the fact that it has no evidence to say that it is what it is. Okay? So, those are my thoughts on the subject. Islamcollection, thank you again for watching the videos that I suggested you do, and your tolerance for my tardiness with this video. I hope I've enlightened you a bit as to my perspective on the situation. And please feel free to respond to this. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Thanks. Born in Asphodel Meadow. See you guys later. Also, one more thing. It says in your video description box for the video you responded to me with that Darwin died a Muslim, and you've got some proof for this. I call bullshit. Show me that fucking proof, okay? Because that's just, like, oh, come on. You don't expect people to fall for that, please. Never mind. Cite me a source or something, because I'm not convinced over here, alright? Later.